I was planning on making a whole video about the average teams in the NBA and why it's not so much fun to watch. And then these two teams shut me up tonight, and we're here to talk about why. So here are my raw thoughts on the Atlanta Hawks versus the Toronto Raptors on January 31st, 2022. Before I continue any further, please be sure to like the video and subscribe if you're new. I am trying to upload daily as a full-time working adult. So we're gonna figure out how long this streak lasts, but it's 2 for 2 right now. So we're gonna just take a day at a time, go 3 for 3. Like the video, so this is worth my time. I'm just kidding. Even if you don't like it, I'm uploading these videos. Literally, if I had 5 viewers, these videos would go up. I do not care. So I want to make this conversation about the pleasant surprises of the average team in the NBA, and we're kind of going to center it around these two teams here tonight. Like I mentioned before, I went into this game with as low expectations as you possibly could. Trae Young was out tonight with that shoulder injury, so they were missing their offense pretty much. They were missing their initiator, their playmaker, and their top scorer. So where was that gonna come from? Well, tonight for the Hawks, it came from Kevin Huerter. And I think that's a perfect segue into my first point of today's video, which is you don't know where it's gonna come from that night. You know, the average teams in the league that squeak into the playoffs but are never really a threat, so the teams like the Pacers of the past few years, stuff like that. And I mean, you can even look at the Hornets this year, even though they're playing slightly above average right now. Not even slightly, they're playing above average this season, but that sort of echelon of team, you understand where I'm going with this. Like I said, you really never know where it's going to come from that night. You have sort of an idea, like with teams like the Raptors, who have Pascal Siakam, who is an all-star and is playing back at an all-star level once again. But tonight for the Raptors, it came from Gary Trent Jr., who has been on a roll for the past 3 games. Is Gary Trent Jr. going to finish the year being the top scorer with the Raptors? I can almost 100% say no. And that's because of the makeup of that team. The average team relies on more players playing their role than the elite teams, who normally rely on their superstar to then create or make those around them into the pieces that they need to be in order for the team to win. And I think there's no better illustration of this sort of point, that average teams need the production to come from literally everywhere, is the Toronto Raptors. And if you look at their season average box scores, I think their starting 5 averages from 14 points to 21 points. That's ridiculous because that is such even scoring output that no one in your starting 5 averages under 10. No one in your starting 5 averages over 25. This is a team that will have everyone on the squad touch the ball for a majority of their possessions, and that's just how they work. There's an argument to be made that that's not going to win you too many crucial games, but it's not to be understated kind of the role that average teams have to take when it comes to not having that superstar talent. What did we see tonight? We saw Bogey hit a couple of good shots. We saw Kevin Huerter, like I said, go off for 26 points. We saw Onyeka Okongwu put up some really good spot minutes, as well as Lou Williams late in the second half to try to claw back into the game. And you're just seeing the production. You're seeing the production coming from here and there and there and there. End of the bench guys giving you really solid minutes. And more on the actual game that was played tonight between the Raptors and the Hawks. It got really exciting in that third quarter, the fourth quarter, especially late in the fourth when the Hawks were trying to rally back after the Raptors took the lead again. Because the Raptors were basically fighting an uphill battle all game long. They were down for a majority of the game until that third quarter when they lit a fuse. Gary Trent Jr. re-caught fire, the definition of a microwave. But yeah, this game turned from a tale of 2 average teams just duking it out. By the way, the Raptors shot 18 of 36 from three-point land as a unit. That set a season high for them. Yeah, there were no super duper mega highlight plays early on in the game, but this was still a very exciting game. It went down to the wire. It went down to 2 teams having to go tit for tat. There was literally a stretch where both teams were just shooting back 3-pointers. Bah, bah, bah. They were going back and forth, and it was really exciting to watch. And those threes, I mean, a majority of them came from Gary Trent Jr. and Bogdan Bogdanovic. How often do you get to see Gary Trent Jr. go tit for tat against someone like Bogdan Bogdanovic in a meaningful game? You don't get that with the great teams, right? You don't get that with the elite squads because 9 times out of 10, you know who the ball's going to at the end of the game. The Raptors had a couple people on the floor that could have taken all those final shots, but Gary Trent Jr. was the one with the high hand that night, so he got deferred to. Kevin Huerter was the same deal on the other side, except Bogdan started taking the shots late. Not like he wasn't having a good game, but he missed a couple open ones at the end that he probably wished he could have taken back. But that's what I'm saying. You don't see those matchups often. And it's really nice to see, especially when they start connecting on those, because it's a different level of excitement. You don't know how well a lot of these players, these mediocre players, perform in the clutch because you don't watch them. Even if they have been in certain clutch situations, you probably don't know about that situation. Are you really going to search up Bogdanovich clutch moments on YouTube? You're not going to. It's something you have to watch live to catch, to appreciate. And that's what I'm doing now. I really do like watching the high marquee games, for sure. But I'm also someone who is starting to appreciate the mediocrity, the averageness of some of the teams in the NBA. I'm sorry if I'm ranting. I'm looking at the time right now. I've been talking for 10 minutes. This is raw thoughts. This is basically what it's going to be. There is no script for this. I write down very minimal notes. I pick a game I want to talk about. I pick the topic I want to talk about. And we just go from there. So I probably jumped, and my voice cracked. I probably jumped to a bunch of different topics, but hopefully I stayed under the umbrella of why I'm starting to like watching the average teams in the NBA. And hopefully you are starting to as well. Before I get out of here though, I want to give a special shout out to the Hoop Talk podcast, who will be a presenting sponsor on the channel for the Raw Thoughts series. I've been on a couple episodes over there. They do tremendous work. If you're looking for anything hoops related, it's literally in the name, Hoop Talk. They know hoops. They know, my bad, I missed an opportunity. They know ball, and they know ball very well. So if you're looking for college hoops talk, if you're looking for WNBA talk, you're looking for NBA talk, go on over there. They got all of it for you. Hours and hours and hours of content just waiting for you to watch and listen to. So give them a look. Give my channel a look. Subscribe if you're new. Shout out to all the Serbian friends that I've been making over the past day. I mean, you guys like are showing out for the Jokic video. It's insane how quick it caught onto the algorithm. But that is it. My voice is cracking. I'm very tired. I've been working for 13 hours and I filmed this video, so I've had a very long day. Okay, bye.